First game of the Blue Ox tournament, 2025 Brainerd Bantam double A team. We're playing Rogers first. They're just announcing the players. Playing at the Moorhead Sports Complex, basically the high school facility. This is the practice rink, or their alternative rink, not the main rink. That's the starting lineup for Brainerd. Aaron is going to be our goalie. Featherson on center is what they announced. Sully and Roush on wing.
Thank you. Now please remain standing for the play. The Stars stand.
All right, looks like Lick's going to be center. They announced it as Featherson on center, but Lick on center, Roush and Featherson on wing, Potvin and Velasco on D. Rogers dumped it in deep into the Brainerd zone, controlling the puck. Out to the left D point, back to their left wing. Shot blocked by Lick. Couple big boys on the Rogers team. Featherson pressuring the D. Puck in the slot. Featherson can't clear it out. Rogers trying to center it. They step up. Not sure what that whistle is for. High stick, maybe? I don't know. 14:22 left. Norris out on center. Bloom and Gaken. Gaken just gets it across the blue line, poked off his stick. Back out to neutral zone. Lee and Hoff on D. Hoff sends it to Norris, but somebody's offsides for Brainerd. Face off just outside the blue line of Rogers' zone. Norris wins the face off. Gaken tries to pick it up, poked off his stick. Rogers heads into the Brainerd zone. Drop pass to the right D. Pad save by Aaron. Puck behind the net in the Brainerd zone. Hoff with it. Trying to poke along the boards to Gaken. Gaken sends it back behind the net around the other side. Near side. Picked up by Bloom. He skates it out. Norris up the center with Gaken and Bloom with him. Rogers turns it back the other way. Rogers into the Brainerd zone. Shot from just inside the blue line. Center mass on Ben Wingren and saved and covered for a whistle. Brainerd line change. Henson with Books and Leary. Puck in the Brainerd zone. Right D for Rogers. Sends it down the right side. Velasco goes in. Ties it up in the corner. Henson comes away with it. Spins back the other way to Velasco. Velasco out into the neutral zone. Leary poking after it. Henson trying to tie him up. Rogers with the puck now. Rogers tries Henson into the Brainerd zone. Up the middle. Angled off by Reed and Velasco. Puck covered by Ben Wingren for a whistle. Lick on the center now. Reed and Velasco out on D. Featherston with Roush on the wing. Velasco up the middle to Featherston. Featherston tips it over to Roush. Roush through the neutral zone off the left side. Roush gets it in deep into the Rogers zone. Tries to center to Lick. Poked away. Featherston battling in the far corner of the Rogers zone. Out to the wall. Lick out to D. Velasco shot, hits traffic. Puck into the near corner. Lick battling for it, and Rogers clears it out. Rogers in on the right side, angled off by Velasco. Centering pass, poked away by Ben Wingren. Lick sends the puck out to neutral zone, and Rogers picks it up. Rogers back the other way, poked away by Hoff. Hoff now up the middle. Nice deke there by Hoff, but then loses the puck just as he enters zone. Puck out in neutral zone again. Batted down deep into the Rogers zone by Gaken. Lick with a check. Bloom to Lick. Lick shot off the side of the net. And Rogers picks up that rebound. Let's head back the other way, tied up by Lick, but they managed to clear it out. Hoff with it. Back to Potvin. Potvin back over to Hoff. Hoff centers it to Norris, but bounces off his stick and deep into the Rogers zone. Norris in after it. Up along the near wall, Norris and Bloom battling for it. Backhand shot by, who is that? Gaken. Up and wide. Punk out at the blue line. Hoff not able to keep it in. Sends it back to Potvin, who's deeper in the neutral zone. Potvin up to Gaken, bounces over Gaken's stick into the Rogers zone. Norris tying him up. The forecheck. Bloom gets a loose puck deep in the Rogers zone. Poked off his stick. Books there now. Books sends it behind the net. Nobody on the near side. Offers is able to keep it in. Sends it down deep into the zone again. Line change. Bounces off Leary's stick out into the neutral zone. Books. Henson carries it in, right wing side. Puck around the far side now. Picked off the wall by Reed, who sends it back in deep. Leary down deep, Henson out front. Leary not able to get the pass off. Puck out to the blue line. Now to neutral zone, picked up by Reed. Reed loses the puck in the neutral zone. Rogers back the other way. Lee's back. Books races back to help him. Centering pass bounces off the Roger player's stick into the near corner. Rogers still with the puck. Centering pass out to the left D. Shot. Pad save by Van Wingeren. Puck sent around behind the net to the far wall. Books. Reed with the puck. Carries it out across the blue line over to Leary on the right side. Leary shot from just inside the red line. Brainerd goes off for a line change. Roush and Lick are out now, along with Featherston, Hoff and Velasco. Puck in the neutral zone, picked up by Hoff. Over to Velasco on the far side. Velasco up the middle. Gets it across the blue line and deep into the Rogers zone. Puck out front. Featherston got something on it, but it went wide. Behind the net, Rogers picks it up and clears it out. Poke check by Hoff. Another Rogers player picks it up, carries it in on the far side. Rogers player still with the puck, looking for somebody to pass to. Drop pass to the right D, tied up by Lick. Lick's going to get a penalty for a pretty clean check. Tripping. Okay. Brainerd on the penalty kill now. As Lick gets a tripping penalty. .8:56 left in the first period. Score 0-0. And Brainerd now on a 2-minute penalty kill. Bloom's going to take the face off. Rogers wins it back to their left D, over to the right D. Step up a little bit. Soft wrist shot goes wide. Lee and Potvin battling for it behind the neck. Pops up into the netting for a whistle. Bloom on the face-off again. Gakin at right wing. It's a draw. Potvin steps up to seal it away. Over to Lee. Lee sends along the near boards, but Rogers grabs it. Up along the near boards. Rogers tries to send it out to the right D. He's not there. Puck comes out to neutral zone. Rogers controlling the puck in the neutral zone. Looking to set up entry play here. In on the right side. Tied up by Bloom. At the drop pass to the right D. Nice poke check there by Bloom, and puck bounces out into the neutral zone. 1 minute left in the PK for Brainerd. Rogers up the middle. Gakin tries to stop him. The shot from the left wing by Rogers. Saved by Van Wingeren. Puck out in the neutral zone. Rolls down deep into the Rogers zone. Brainerd line change. Leary comes out with Henson. Rogers into the neutral zone. Left wing side, angled off. Leary steals it. Leary trying to tie it up behind the net. Henson poke check. Rogers keeps it in. Rogers left wing circle out to the left D. Sends it to the far side. Tied up by Reed. Rogers on the far side now. Off the right wing circle. Down in the corner. Right wing circle again. Left wing circle. No shot. Out to their D at the center. Fans on the shot. Leary pokes it out to neutral zone. Rogers is offsides. So we killed that penalty. Both teams back to full strength. Face off just outside the Brainerd zone. Lick, Featherston, and Roush. Hoff and Potvin on D. Face off the draw. Roush comes away with it into the Brainerd zone and stolen away. On the far wall, Brainerd zone now behind the net. Hoff battling for it. Featherston steps up and steals the puck away. Out to neutral zone. His pass goes wide on Roush, and Rogers picks it up and sends it deep in the Brainerd zone again. Off behind the net, Potvin. Out to Roush on the far side. Roush pokes it out across the blue line. Gets tied up. Featherston there helping him on that far wall in the neutral zone. Puck gets sent down into the Rogers zone in that battle, and Rogers has to step back and pick it up. High stick as Featherston bats the puck out of the air in the Rogers zone, and face-off will come back into the Brainerd zone. 5:59 left in the first period. Bloom, Gakin with Lee and Velasco. Shot off the face-off by Rogers, saved by Van Wingeren. Norris on the face-off. He wins it back to Velasco. Velasco behind the net to Lee. Lee up to Bloom on the near side. Bloom sends it up to Gakin. The puck is intercepted by Rogers. Down in the Rogers zone. Rogers has control of it. Bloom and Gakin putting on pressure. Puck bounces out across the blue line. Gakin carries it back in on the left side and gets a shot off that is saved by the Rogers goalie. Glove save. 5:29 left in the first. We need to get some shots on goal. Henson on the face-off now. Brooks and Leary out there with him. Look behind the Rogers net and then break it out across the blue line. Picked up by Velasco. Velasco turns. Velasco into the Rogers zone on the right side. Brought past to Leary. Bounces off a shin pad. Henson dumps it back in deep. And Rogers sends it down for an icing. Shot off, a pad save by the Rogers goalie. The rebound is picked up by Rogers and brought out back across the blue line. Bounces back into their zone. They will retrieve it on the far wall, tied up by Henson and Leary. Henson poking at it as it's pinned against the wall. Henson bounces out and Rogers picks it up top of the house and skates it out of their zone. They dump it in deep. Potvin back to retrieve it. Check by Potvin. Reed trying to pick up the loose puck behind the net. Henson takes down a player and himself. Puck up high in the air, out at the left D for Rogers. Rogers still keeping it in the Brainerd zone. Fans on a shot, and then sent in deep. Henson after it, behind the net. Potvin out to Leary, off his skate, Books loses it on the wall in the neutral zone, and Rogers skates back in. Brainerd caught during the line change. Covered by Van Wingeren for a whistle. 3:50 left in the first period. Lick Roush Featherston with Velasco and off the face-off in the Brainerd zone. Kicks it forward to Featherston on the right side. Featherston dumps in deep into the Rogers zone. Puck comes around the wall, poked across the blue line. Lick picks it up, and the neutral zone turns back the other way on the far wall, left wing side. He gets taken down, manages to dump it in, and they're going to call an interference penalty on that Rogers player as he took down Lick after he had dumped that puck in deep. So Brainerd now in the power play. 2 minutes. We got 3:26 left in the first period. Norris out. Center, Bloom and Leary on wing. Hoff and Lee on D. Puck back to Lee, but it's high in the air and bounces over his stick. Lee has to chase after it deep in the Brainerd zone. Rogers player putting on pressure. Forecheck. Hoff comes away with it. It's okay. It's out in the neutral zone. Bloom puts it into the Rogers zone, chases after it behind the net. Bloom out to Lee at D. Shot goes off a stick. And Bloom picked up that rebound off that shot from Lee. So Lee took a shot from high slot just inside the blue line, really. I hit a Rogers player's stick, rebounded. Bloom picked it up and shot it into the top left corner. Out from pretty high. A nice shot there by Nate Bloom. 2:55 left in the first, and Brainerd on the board. I gotta zoom out here. Potvin dumps it in deep into the Rogers zone. Bloom, Norris, and Gagan are out there. Reed and Potvin on deep. Norris taken down in the far corner. The Rogers zone, Gagan there to help him. Puck tied up along the deep wall, or the back wall. Rogers comes away with it. Angled off by Bloom, but Rogers' player managed to skate it all the way down. Oh! Skated it all the way down. Nobody's able to stop him. Cut toward the center and very weak shot, but and Wintergren had his pad on it, but couldn't keep it out of the net. Score tied up at 2:12. Lick, Featherston, Roush, Glasgow, and Lee. Lick raising him on the left wing side, gets tied up on the wall. Featherston picks it up, he's tripped. Pops out to the neutral zone. Rogers back the other way. Lee tries to send it out, but it's knocked down and puck gets loose in the Brainerd zone. Pumped up in deep. Lee to Blasco on the near wall. He's checked off the puck. Featherston picks it up, sends it to the far side, off the wall in the neutral zone. Roush in on the left wing side. Lick up the middle. Rogers steals the puck away. Sends it out into the neutral zone. 2-on-2. Drop pass to the right D. Blocker save by Van Wingren from just inside the blue line. Featherston with the puck out across the blue line, tries to send it to Lick, but it bounces over his stick deep into the Rogers zone. Lick throwing some checks. Nice forechecking by Lick. Steals the puck away. Almost gets a nice backhand pass to Leary, but just intercepted by Rogers, and they send it down deep into the Brainerd zone. Covered up by Van Wingren. Just dumped in on goal. 51 seconds left in the first period. Henson on the faceoff wins it to Reed. Reed tries to send it along the wall, but it's intercepted by Rogers. They send it out to their left D. Shot from the left wing circle, saved by Van Wingren. Puck loose, picked up by Leary, tips it forward to Books. Books gets it out into the neutral zone, but he gets tied up. Still manages to get it forward into the Rogers zone. Finally taken down. Loose puck picked up by Henson. To Reed. Reed spins away. Reed steps up, shot on goal. Loose puck. Reed spins it, takes it around behind the net, but not able to complete the wraparound. And that puck is dumped out in the neutral zone by Rogers. Brooks tries to carry it across, poked off his stick. Over to Hoff in the neutral zone, poked off his stick into the Brainerd zone. Van Wingren comes out and sends it back out into the neutral zone. And that's the buzzer for the end of the first period. I think it's just going to be like a minute break here. They're going to Zamboni between the second and third periods. They're just announcing the shots on goal for the first period. Brainerd 8 shots on goal. Rogers 10 shots on goal. Start of the second period. Puck in the Brainerd zone. Rogers out to their center, left wing circle. Out to left D, shot. Hit traffic. Featherston picks up the loose puck, skates it down ice into the Rogers zone on the left wing side. It's stolen away from him just after he enters the zone. They send it out on the far wall. Rogers, one-on-one, Potvin, not able to chase him down. And skated all the way down with a breakaway and stuff it between into the 5-hole. Rogers up 2-1. Center face-off, Norris. Puck deep in the Rogers zone. Norris and Gaken battling for it. It's pinned against the wall. Gaken kicks it out. Norris sends it out along the wall. Rogers tips it and sends it out into the neutral zone. Lee picks it up, tries to send it back. Rogers player picks it up and skates it down deep into the Brainerd zone. Rogers still with the puck. Gaten chasing after him and chase him out of the zone into the neutral zone, but Rogers still controlling the puck. Bounce the puck picked up by Lee. After the net, check from Norris. Rogers out to their left D, poked away by Gaken, and they send that loose puck deep into the Brainerd zone again. Center pass off a skate. Rogers out to their left D. Rogers really just controlling the puck here. Brainerd chase after him, but tried to get behind the net. Brainerd zone finally. Brainerd able to skate it out. Gaken just gets it across the blue line where he stopped, and it's kicked back into the Brainerd zone by the Rogers player. Ian after it. And finally sent down ice. It's going to be icing on Brainerd. Whistle back to the Brainerd zone for face-off. Face-off in the Brainerd zone. Puck bounces out to right D spot. Henson and Brooks trying to tie it up. But again, the Rogers player kicks it back behind the down ice into the Brainerd zone again. Henson picks up a loose puck, skates it out, cuts towards the center up in the center ice, gets it across the blue line where it's poked off his stick. Rogers tries to head back the other way. It's going to be icing as it touched. Face off in the Rogers zone, left wing circle. Henson, Leary Books. We got Velasco and Reed out on D. Henson on the face off. Rogers wins it. And they controlling the puck and manage to clear it out. Rogers back the other way, pushing hard on the left wing side into the Brainerd zone. Centering pass, batted away by Velasco. Velasco ties him up behind the net. Rogers picks up a loose puck. Vincent chasing him down along the near wall. Puck sent down ice. And Rogers has to retrieve it deep in the neutral zone. Rogers back the other way, backhand, jumped into the zone. That was covered up by Brainerd for a whistle. 11:40 left in the second period. Lake on the face-off. Rogers with the puck in the neutral zone. Looking for the men to clear out. Rogers controlling the puck. Along the far wall. Picked up by Featherston. Featherston skates it up the middle. Lick there. Featherston still controlling the puck. Gets a shot, pad save. Lick tries to get the rebound. It's poked away. Puck along the near wall. Featherston and Lick tying it up. And Lick sends it deeper into the Rogers zone. Hoff sends it back into the far corner. Roush and Featherston trying to chase after it. Forechecking, but Rogers comes away with it. Down ice. For, I think offside. Maybe an icing. Let's see if they're across the red line or not. Yeah, icing. So puck come back to the Rogers zone for left wing circle face-off. 10:49 left. Norris on the face-off. Wins it over to the wall. Gaten. Taking off the puck. Behind the net now. Norris with a forecheck. Bloom. He falls down. Loose puck picked up by Rogers. They're trying to break it out on the near wall. Bounces off Lee's skate into the neutral zone where Reed picks it up. Back to Lee. Lee cross ice over to Norris in the neutral zone, who dumps it in deep into the Rogers zone. Bloom chases after it. Norris and Bloom battling in the far corner as they're tied up. Battle continues behind the net now. Up to the near wall. Lee steps forward to keep it in deep. Gaken covers for him at the point, but puck sent out. Rogers in on the right wing side. Angled off by Reed. Puck in the Brainerd zone. Cleared out by Norris. The near wall of the neutral zone. Rogers sends it back in. Gets it behind the net. Norris chases it down. He gets checked. Norris sends it down ice into the neutral zone. Rogers has to chase it back into their zone. Brainerd line change. Chipped up into the Brainerd bench for a whistle. So we got Henson Books Leary out again with Potvin and Velasco on D. Henson on the face-off, just outside the Rogers zone. Brings it back to Velasco. Velasco steps up. He's got a little bit of a lane and dumps it in deep. Henson in after it behind the goal, but Rogers gets to it first. Leary, poke check. Leary, centering pass. Potvin keeps the puck in. Leary after it behind the net. Spins out the defender. Centering pass. Books was right there, but puck trickled across the crease. Slap shot from the right wing circle by Velasco. Ends up behind the net. Leary with the puck out to Velasco. Books, who was down low off the post. Henson picks up that rebound behind the net. circling the zone, dumps it back to Books behind the net, poked off his stick. Rogers manages to clear it out just across the blue line. Picked up by Henson in the neutral zone. He spins back, ends up on a stick for Rogers player. They send it down ice. That was offsides by Rogers. Takes off center ice. 8:20 left in the second period. Lick on the faceoff. Lick won the faceoff, but picked up by Rogers. Skated in on the right wing side, down deep out to the right D. He steps up. Behind the net. Featherston picks up the puck in the far corner. Chipped forward by Hoff into the neutral zone. Battle on the far wall of the neutral zone, just outside the Brainerd zone. Featherston with it again. He's got some room to skate. Skates it in on the right wing side, off the wall, looking for someone to pass to out front. Shot off the net. Roush and Featherston battling for that loose puck, but Rogers comes away with it. Roush steals it back and sends it deep into the Rogers zone. Lick with the forecheck, but Rogers manages to clear it out to center ice. Just as they enter the Brainerd zone, they're offsides. 7:32 left in the second period. Face off just outside the Brainerd zone. Norris on the face off. He wins it back to Lee. Sends it across ice to Velasco. Up the wall into the neutral zone to Gakin, who dumps it on goal, and it's not covered. Changed his mind. Norris picked it up, but poked up into the netting for a whistle in the Rogers zone. Face-off, left wing circle of the Rogers zone. Norris take the face-off. Gakin and Bloom are out there with him. Lee and Velasco on D. Rogers wins the face-off off the wall. Tied up by Bloom. Bloom with the forecheck, pressures them deeper into their zone. Rogers manages to skate it out up the middle. Velasco and Lee are back. The same player tried to, it's their number 10, good player. Tried to cut to the center again, but this time they were onto him. But in the near corner of the Brainerd zone, out to the right D, shot, pad save by Van Wingeren. Bloom picks up the rebound, sends it to Norris. Norris into the neutral zone. He's got Gakin on the left wing side. Shot just inside the blue line. Glove save by Rogers goalie. Hands it off to his player and it's carried out of zone. This puck in the neutral zone, sent back by Reed to Books. Books cuts in to Leary. Oh, dang. Nice play there. Just not quite on Leary's stick there, but nice setup that they had going there. 6:15 left in the second period. Face off, right wing circle, Rogers zone. Henson, Leary, Books. Henson on the face off. The draw. Leary picks up the puck in the corner. Centers it. Henson, backhand shot. Swept wide by the Rogers goalie. And Rogers clears it out. Reed and Poppin are back. Poke check by Books. He steals it away. Books back the other way, up right wing side. Drop pass to Leary. Leary, shot from right wing circle. Center mass covered for a whistle. Face off right wing circle again. The Rogers zone. Henson. Leary and Books in the slot. Rogers wins that one. Come away with it. Back behind the net. Send it up along the near wall. Poppin steps up. Try and keep it in. They manage to send it out to center. Reed's back by himself. Henson and Leary racing back to help. Shot by Rogers player goes up over the net. Pucks loose in the Brainerd zone. Rogers player tries to bank it off the glass, but goes over the glass out of play for a whistle. Lick on the face-off. Hoff sends it along the wall. Rogers keeps it in. Hoff battling for it in the near corner to Roush. Roush backhands it to Featherston, but goes behind him and down ice. Rogers has to retrieve it deep in their zone. Forecheck pressure from Featherston and Roush. Lick, neutral zone, stolen away from him. Rogers up the middle, over to the right wing. Pass is missed, and Rogers picks up the rebound off the side of the post. Tied up along the near wall. Roush to Lick. Lick over to Featherston, center ice. Featherston up the right wing side, deeks towards the center, and he loses the puck. Rogers clears it out all the way out to the Brainerd zone. They step in on the right wing side, tied up by Velasco, who steals it away and sends it up along the near wall, kept in by their D. Over left wing circle, shot saved by Van Wingeren and covered for a whistle just in the nick of time as that rebound flopped into the crease. 4:16 left in the second. Face off in the Brainerd zone. Norris, Potvin in the near corner of the zone, tied up, Bacon there to help. Out to the right D, Rogers shoots, deflected wide by Van Wingeren. Out to the left D, shot hits traffic, loose out front, still loose. But he's swatting at it, pops out to the right D. Right D shot hits traffic. Norris picks up that loose puck in the Brainerd zone. And tries the centering pass to Gakin. Gakin grabs it, pokes it forward into the zone. Gakin still with the puck. Centering pass, nobody there. Potvin, slap shot from the left D side and covered up for a whistle. Face off in the Rogers zone. Henson books Leary. Leary ties it up in the near wall, pokes it forward. Henson picks up the loose puck. They're both tied up in the near wall here. Reed steps up to keep it in. Henson checked off the puck. Reed picks it up. Reed skates behind their net, circling. Out to Hoff at the point. Hoff doesn't get anything on a slap shot, and Rogers picks it up and heads back the other way. Books chases after him, mingles him off. They have to dump it in deep. Hoff picks up that puck in Brainerd zone, but it gets tied up. It's stolen away and sent back behind the Brainerd net. Henson with it now. Out to Leary. Leary sends it forward to Books. Picks it up off the wall. Carries it just into the Rogers zone. Henson back to Leary. Leary crosses into the Rogers zone on the right wing side. Spins off a player as Brainerd line chain. Off the wall to the Books. Books backhands it to the slot for Lick, but picked up by the Rogers player and it skated all the way down. Centering pass, but nobody there. Picked up by Featherston in the Brainerd zone. He skates it out in the neutral zone in the left wing side. Cuts towards the center. Shot off the net. Still with the puck. Trying to get it out front. Featherston out at the D point. Roush in the high slot. Racing after it. And Rogers finally gets that out across the blue line. Roush picks up that loose puck, skates it on the right wing side. He's taken off the puck. Centering pass by Roush as he picks it back up behind the net to Lick, but not able to get much on it. Puck is covered by the Rogers goalie for a whistle. 1:43 left in the second period. 1:28 left in the second period. Norris on the face-off in the Brainerd zone. Puck on the far wall. Rogers keeps it in. Shot on goals. Poked away by Van Wingren. Puck across the goal line. Picked up by Norris. Poked off his stick behind the net. Velasco there. Rogers controlling the puck out to the right D. Shot off of Bacon's skate over to the left D. Puck loose. Covered by Van Wingren for a whistle. Score still 1-2. Less than a minute left in the second period. Then we'll go to Zamboni. Rogers controlling the puck out to their left D, down to their left wing, deflected, picked up by Leary, he skates it out into the neutral zone. Henson not looking, it goes off his skate, and puck sent in deep along the left wing side. Books and Henson there battling along the wall. Books comes away with it, tied up again in the corner. Henson steps forward, shot, not able to get enough on it. I think he got slashed on the wrist as he tried to get that shot off. And puck sent all the way down ice by Rogers for a whistle. 14 seconds left. Puck come back all the way to the Rogers zone for an icing. Lick on the face-off, left wing circle. Back to Featherston. Featherston shot, hits a player into the near corner. Back to Featherston along the near wall. Off of the ref skate this time. Out to Hoff at the lefty point. What are you doing? The puck popped up in the air. And the Rogers player just grabs it out of the air and holds onto it. They should put a few more seconds on the clock. Lick on the face-off. We're going to give it 1.4 seconds. Lick to Velasco. Gets a shot off. All right. End of the second period. 1-2. Time to Zamboni. See you in about 15 minutes. start of the third period. Brainerd Bantam AA versus Rogers at the Blue Ox tournament. First game of the tournament. Rogers up the middle, center ice, over to their left D, left wing. Bouncing puck picked up by Featherston, back the other way, one-on-one. Featherston enters zone, up the middle still, knocked off the puck. We got around one defender, loose puck behind the net. Featherston and Roush battling for it. Rogers comes away with it, back down ice. Lick swatting at it. Drop pass to their left wing. In the left wing circle, shot goes wide and bounces all the way down ice. The Rogers zone again. Rogers breaks it out to the red line. Bounces all the way down ice again for an icing on Rogers. 13:59 left in the game. We have Norris, Gake, and Bloom with Potvin and Hoff. Norris on the face-off. Shoved it into the far corner. Rogers sends it around the wall and out to neutral zone. Picked up by Norris, who sends it back in on the left wing side. Rogers picks it up deep in their zone. Looking to break it out. Oh, stolen away by Gaken. Oh no, that was Bloom. That's a goal. That's a goal. It looked like Bloom got it in, and he stole it away from one of the Rogers players. Got a little too comfortable with Bloom hanging around him, and they still waved it off. Face off left wing circle. Henson out to Potvin, slaps it in behind the net. Brooks steals it away. Henson with the puck out to circling. Spins, shot, goes off the skate. Rogers pokes it out to the neutral zone. Loose puck to center ice. Brooks picks it up into the Rogers zone. Brooks still with it, left wing circle. Shot on goal. Covered up by the goalie for the whistle. He came out to play in this third period. Faceoff's going to be left wing circle again in the Rogers zone. Lick on the face-off, wins it to Featherston. Featherston shot goes off a shin pad, deflects over to Reed at the right D spot and dumps it in. Lick with it behind the net. And Rogers steals it away, breaks it out. Featherston, good back check. Rogers player not too happy with him for stealing that puck from him. Rogers with the puck deep in their zone, pressured by Lick and Featherston. Lick falls down, loses an edge. Rogers manages to clear it out, center ice. Reed picks up the loose puck, center ice, behind the net, gives it to the Rogers player, centers it. Pad saved by Van Winkeren, a little sloppy there. Reed, puck in the Brainerd zone, still far side, shot from their right D, center mass. Van Winkeren saves that, covers it for a whistle. 12:11 left. Puck in the neutral zone. Rogers drops back to grab it. Norris with the puck in the neutral zone, knocked off of it just before he enters the Rogers zone. Puck trickles down behind the net, hooks him after it. Rogers tries to send it out along the far wall. Potvin dumps it back in deep. Rogers clears it out on the near wall, tied up just outside the blue line. Henson and Velasco battling for it. Henson comes away with it. He's checked off of it. Loose puck. Leary backhands it in across the blue line, but there's two Rogers defenders there to pick it up. Cleared it out to Books, who carried it in and dumped it in deep. Leary with it in the corner. He gets tied up. Rogers clears it out across the blue line. Hook just back in. Face-off just outside the blue line. Featherson, right wing side, off the shin pad. Punk bounces back out. Hoff has to retrieve it in the neutral zone. Hoff centers it to Roush. Roush back to Reed. Slaps it over to the near side, but nobody there. And Rogers picks it up. Rogers deep in their zone. Send it back out to the neutral zone. Picked up by Hoff. Hoff over to Reed. Reed off the wall to Roush, but intercepted by Rogers player, who dumps it in deep. Off behind the net. Featherson with a check. Lick picks up that loose puck out to Roush. Roush neutral zone to Reed. Reed up the middle. Bumped off the puck. Loose puck. Rogers clears it out to neutral zone. Velasco with it. Skates it in up the middle. He's bumped off of it. Rogers steals it away. 9 minutes left. Rogers back the other way into the neutral zone. Leary with an intercept over to Brooks on the right wing side. Leary got knocked down center ice. Brooks gets it all the way down to the net. It's a tough angle shot. The goalie covers it for a whistle. Henson, Leary, Books. Henson on the face-off. Over to Books. Rogers sends it behind their net. To the far side. Leary ties it up in the corner. Henson there with them battling for it. Rogers back the other way. Spins off of Henson. Back to the far side. Rogers clears it out. Into the Brainerd zone on the right side, but they're offsides. Lick, Featherson, Roush. Lick wins the face-off. Featherson got tied up. Rogers dumps the puck deep into the Brainerd zone. Goes off the glass. Velasco picks it up. He gets tied up just inside the goal line. Lick there as well. Puck's still tight against the wall. Puck pops out. Rogers player picks it up. Gets a shot on goal and is covered up by Van Wingren. Pushing and shoving there around the goalie, but no penalty. 8:12 left in the game. Face-off will be right wing circle, Brainerd zone. Norris on the face-off. Rogers. D sends it in deep, comes up along the near wall to the lefty, back along the wall, popped out to the blue line, and Balloon picks up the loose puck, pokes it down forward into the Rogers zone. Norris in after. Nice check by Norris. But Rogers squares to come away with the puck. They throw it out to neutral zone. Tipped to Bloom. Bloom tips it across the blue line, but Rogers just picks it up. Off. Potvin. Centers it. Center ice, but Bloom can't get a stick on it. In the Rogers zone. Rogers controlling it. Aiken putting on some four-check pressure along with Norris. Who's puck off the back of the net. Popped out front. Hopping. Spins and shoots. Must have hit some traffic and then bounced wide. Bloom. Oh, Bloom had a nice shot there. Just didn't get enough on it. And then the puck was kind of laying weird as it popped right out to him. 7:10 left. Books, Reed and Velasco. Up in the far corner of the Rogers zone. They pick it up and skate it out to the neutral zone. Velasco checked from behind, right in front of the ref, no call. Leary dumps it in deep into the Rogers zone. Velasco has to go off. Leary keeps it in, fires it deep into the Rogers zone again. Along the near wall. Checked down by Reed or by Hoff. Back to Hoff, lefty slot. Off of a stick, bounces high. Loose puck picked up by Books. Looked like it hit the goalie's glove and took wide. In the near corner of the Rogers zone, Henson putting on pressure. And out to the neutral zone, picked up by Reed. Sends it over to Hoff, but it's behind him, and Hoff has to retrieve it behind the Brainerd net. Out to Books. Books cross ice to Leary, neutral zone. Lick up the middle. Leary, sauce pass to Lick, who's checked from behind into the boards. Like Lick is no worse for the wear. Back on his feet. It's just a checking penalty. It looked like checking from behind or boarding to me, but he's giving him a 2 for that. Brainerd on the power play. He got to deliver on this one. So we have Lick, Featherston, Roush with Reed and Velasco on E. Dives to keep it in zone. Featherston to Lick, who's behind him. Lick to Velasco at the point. Velasco cuts across the center and gets a shot on goal. Covered up by the goal with a whistle. Minute minor. Out to Reed at the point. Back to Velasco, left side. Velasco, Featherston, left wing circle. Shot saved and cleared all the way down ice for an icing. So we got a minute and a half left in our power play with 5:28 left in the game. Featherston shot on goal, stick save. Lick picks up the puck and sends it out to Velasco at the spot. Velasco steps up through the middle. Shot deflected up into the netting. He had a good look there at that left corner, but his stick was in the way. Face off right wing circle. Lick brings it over to Roush. Roush after it comes up along the far wall to Velasco. He keeps it in. steps to the side, back to Featherston, shot, pad save. Lick out to the point, and Reed can't keep it in as it bounces over his blade. Back to Velasco. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Reed. The puck carries it in on the left wing side. Shoot. Back out, guys. Velasco tips it in deep. Velasco spins away out to Featherston at the point. Featherston shot hits traffic. Near corner. Sent all the way down ice by Rogers again for an icing. Well, it was on goal, so no icing. Rogers controlling the puck for the last 18 seconds of our power play. Lick comes away with the battle on the wall. Lick still with the puck. Over to Featherston. Back to Lick. Up the middle to Roush. Roush sends it down ice. Icing. It wasn't quite across the red line. Henson on the faceoff. Rogers shot from high slot, goes wide. Loose puck in the near corner. Henson and Lee battling for it. Henson off the wall to Leary, but Rogers D keeps it in. Shot on goal. Loose puck. Hoff comes away with it. Over to Henson, left wing side. Bounces off his stick. Rogers sends it into their own corner. Check out Lee. Books in the far corner. The Rogers zone. Tips it out to the point. Hoff. On goal. Swatted wide by the Rogers goalie. Henson behind the net. Pokes it forward to Bloom. Bloom sends it along the wall. It's intercepted and chipped down ice by the Rogers player. Lee picks it up before it crosses the goal line. Lee to Books. Misses the pass. Bloom picks it up. Sends it forward to Norris now. Norris crosses the blue line, but without the puck. And Rogers back the other way. Same thing happened to Rogers and Bloom back the other way. Bloom at the right side into the Rogers zone. Norris is out front. Pad save. Out to Velasco at the point. Velasco. Oh, gosh. Went off the post. Got another nice look at that left corner. Top left corner of the net. Just right off the tip of the corner. Puck set back on ice by Rogers for icing, so we'll come back to their zone for 2:09 left on the clock. We're still down by 1 point. Brainerd's going to take a timeout. Off left wing circle, Rogers zone. And Wingren comes off the ice. 2 shots on goal by Leary. We got an extra skater out there now. Set this in Bloom out. Rogers tried to send it down ice, but Velasco grabbed it out of the air. But he's in the neutral zone now. Over to Featherston. Featherston up the left wing side. Hooked off his stick. Rogers trying to clear it out. Featherston. Lick. Down low. Backhand. Backs it to Leary. Back to Hoff. Back to Leary. Out to Hoff. Hoff out at the point. Shot off a pad. Deflects to the right wing side. Velasco forechecks and the puck comes out to the neutral zone. Hoff with it to Featherston. Featherston to Bloom. Bloom in across the blue line. Drop pass to Leary. Leary shoots it in and ends up down low. Hoff at lefty point. Hoff stepping up. He had a shot, but Rogers player got a stick on it and went up into the netting. 1 minute exactly left in the game. Face-off will be down the Rogers zone again. Brainerd net still empty. Lick, Leary, Featherston, Bloom with Velasco and Hoff on D. Lick on the face-off, left wing circle. It's a draw, loose puck. Hoff not able to keep it in. Back to Velasco. Velasco skates it forward. On the right wing side, dumps it in deep, Licking after it. And Rogers sends it all the way down ice. That's going to be an icing. 41 seconds left. Brainerd net still empty. Face-off will be right wing circle this time. Velasco over to Hoff. Hoff to Leary. Oh, nice. Loose. Woo! Brainerd just scored. Leary got a shot off from about the right wing circle face-off dot. Rebound popped out. Bloom. It's like Bloom stuffed it in. Tie game 2-2 with 34 seconds left. If this goes into overtime, it'll be 4-on-4 for 4 minutes, and then they do 3-man shootout and then sudden death. A Lick on the face-off. Wins the face-off, but Hoff misses it. Hoff chases back after it, sends it along the boards. Lick picks it up just in the slot, and Featherston just sends it down ice. It's going to be an icing. Gotta control this puck. They're saying Hoff and Leary come with the assist on that. Rogers, Leary with back check. Puck up over the glass. 12 seconds left. Norris wins the face-off. Leary fumbles it a little, tips it down into the neutral zone. Bloom after it. Bloom with a forecheck. And that's the whistle. The buzzer. They're just announcing the total shots on goal so far for the game. Brainerd with 32 and Rogers with 24 shots on goal. So it's 4-on-4 for 4 minutes. It's running time, so no stop time. Puck in the neutral zone. Reed over to Velasco near side. Velasco spins away. Back to Reed. Reed off the wall to Featherston. Featherston back to Reed up the middle. Poked off his stick. Rogers now with the puck. Across the blue line on the right side. Got some speed. And he just got past him, and I don't know how Van Wingren did that, but he got his skate back just in the nick of time against the post as the Rogers player tried to deke around him, stuffing in behind him. Critical save there by Van Wingren. 3:03. Rogers with the puck up the middle, up high off the glass. Loose puck in the near corner. Down behind the net. Centering pass. Centering pass tipped in behind Van Wingren.